Welcome to ClearPath NCLEX, your clear path to nursing success. All right, let's jump right in. Imagine this for a second. You're on your clinical rotation, and your patient suddenly tells you they feel dizzy. You immediately check their pulse. Now, is what you're feeling just a number you need to chart, or is it a vital clue, a piece of a puzzle that tells you what's really going on? Today, we're going to learn how to read those signs, because mastering pulse assessment is absolutely essential for passing the NCLEX and for being a safe, effective nurse. So we're going to start right at the beginning with the fundamentals. Let's break down what a pulse actually is and why we check it in the first place. So what are we actually feeling? Every single time the heart beats, it pushes a wave of blood into our arteries. You can think of it like a ripple spreading out across a pond. That ripple, that pressure wave, is what we feel as the pulse. It's a direct, physical sign that the heart is doing its job and pumping that precious oxygenated blood out to the rest of the body. Okay, now that we know what we're looking for, let's talk about where and how to find it. Knowing these pulse sites is a skill you'll use every single day as a nurse. These are the main pulse points we use. The radial, on the wrist, is your everyday go-to for a quick check. The carotid, in the neck, is a central pulse we use in emergencies. The apical is when we listen directly to the heart with a stethoscope. It's the most accurate one. We use the brachial in the arm for blood pressure checks. And then you have the femoral, popliteal, posterior tibial, and dorsalis pedis, which are all super important for checking circulation down in the legs and feet. Let's walk through checking the radial pulse, since it's the most common. You're going to use the pads of your first two fingers. Never, ever use your thumb, because it has its own pulse and you might get confused. Find the spot on the wrist, right at the base of the thumb, and press gently. Now, if the beat feels nice and steady, you can count for 30 seconds and just multiply by 2. But here's a huge NCLEX tip. If it feels irregular at all, you have to count for the full 60 seconds to get an accurate rate. No shortcuts. This is a massive safety alert, and you will almost certainly see this concept on your exam. When you check the carotid pulse in the neck, you only check one side at a time. If you press on both at once, you can actually cut off blood flow to the brain, which could cause your patient to pass out. It is a critical, never do this kind of rule. Always one side at a time. All right, let's find the apical pulse. This is our most accurate reading. You'll need to find the 5th intercostal space. That's the space between the 5th and 6th ribs. Then imagine a line coming straight down from the middle of the collarbone, the midclavicular line. Right where those 2 points meet is the point of maximal impulse, or PMI. It's called that because it's where you can hear the heartbeat the loudest. You'll place your stethoscope right there and listen for 1 full minute. So finding the pulse and getting a number is just step 1. A real nursing assessment goes deeper. We need to analyze its characteristics. We're looking at 4 key things: the rate, the rhythm, the strength, and the quality. Let's dig into each of these. First up is rate. It's simple. How fast is it beating? For an adult, anything less than 60 beats per minute is called bradycardia. An easy way to remember this is brady is slow. On the flip side, anything over 100 beats per minute is called tachycardia. Just think tachy is fast. You have to know these 2 terms. Now, it's super important to remember that the normal rate changes with age. For the NCLEX, you absolutely must know the adult range, 60 to 100. But look at this chart. An infant's pulse can be all the way up to 180 and still be perfectly normal. Their little bodies have a much higher metabolism, so their hearts just naturally beat faster. Next is rhythm. Is the pulse steady, like a clock ticking? That's a regular rhythm. Or is it all over the place? That's an irregular rhythm. Sometimes you'll find a rhythm that's irregular but has a pattern to it. We call that regularly irregular. And sometimes it's just completely chaotic with no pattern at all, which is irregularly irregular. This is often what you see on an ECG with atrial fibrillation. After rhythm, we assess the strength, which we call amplitude. We grade this on a simple scale. 2+ is normal, easy to feel. 1+ is weak and thready. Maybe you feel this in a patient with low blood volume. A 4+ pulse is bounding. It feels like it's leaping out at your fingertips, which you might see in a patient with fluid overload. And of course, a 0 means the pulse is absent. And finally, we check for equality. This just means you compare the pulses on both sides of the body. So you'll check the left radial pulse and the right radial pulse. They should feel the same. If one side is weaker than the other, that's a big red flag for a circulation problem, like a blood clot. Okay, so you've gathered all this information: the rate, rhythm, strength, and quality. Now it's time to be a detective and connect these findings to what might be happening with your patient. So let's think about causes. If a patient has tachycardia, it could be from something as simple as anxiety or pain. Or it could be more serious, like a fever or dehydration. For bradycardia, we often think about medications like beta blockers or maybe an underlying heart condition. A weak, thready pulse is a classic sign of low blood volume or hypovolemia, maybe from bleeding. And a bounding pulse often points to fluid overload. Here's a really important concept: pulse deficit. This is what you have when the apical pulse you hear with your stethoscope is faster than the radial pulse you feel at the wrist. It means the heart is beating, but some of those beats are too weak to send a strong enough wave of blood all the way to the wrist. This often tells us the heart isn't pumping efficiently. Finding something abnormal is only half the battle. Knowing what to do about it, that's what makes you a great nurse. Let's talk about your responsibilities. So, if you find an abnormal pulse, what do? First, always recheck it, preferably at the apical site for a full minute. Next, check the patient's chart. What's their normal baseline? Then look at your patient. Don't just treat the number. Are they dizzy? Are they in pain? Are they short of breath? Always assess for other symptoms. Finally, document everything you found, and of course, notify the provider if it's a significant change or if your patient is symptomatic. All right, you've got the knowledge down. Now let's put it to the test with some NCLEX-style practice to make sure it really sticks. Here are a few quick memory tricks that are pure gold for the NCLEX. Tachy is fast, Brady is slow. Always, always, always check that apical pulse for a full minute before you give heart medications like digoxin. Never check both carotid pulses together, and a pulse deficit means the heart is working, but the perfusion isn't reaching the periphery. Burn these into your brain. Okay, first question. A nurse assesses an adult patient and finds a radial pulse of 118 beats per minute. It's regular and strong. What's the most accurate way to document this? Is it A, bradycardia, B, pulse deficit, C, tachycardia, or D, normal sinus rhythm?
And the answer is C, tachycardia. Why? Because the normal adult pulse rate is between 60 and 100. A rate of 118 is over 100, so by definition, it's tachycardia.
Let's do one more. When you're assessing a patient who has a known irregular heart rhythm, what is your most appropriate action? A, count the radial pulse for 15 seconds and multiply by 4. B, palpate the carotid and radial pulses at the same time. C, count the apical pulse for a full 60 seconds. Or D, document the pulse strength as 2+. The correct answer here is C. Remember our rule. For any irregular rhythm, the gold standard is to listen to the apical pulse for 1 full minute. It's the only way to get a truly accurate rate. So as you move forward in your studies and your career, just remember this. A pulse is so much more than a number. It's the rhythm of your patient's story. Your job is to learn how to listen. Like, share, and subscribe to ClearPath NCLEX for more high-yield nursing content.